Upgrades to a park in Osterville are closer to reality. The Department of Public Works has an update for two town committees next week, and find out more about an effort to keep Lowell Park green. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Thursday, February 19th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mantle. Plans for the future of the Osterville Bay School area move forward. Following extensive studies, the Osterville Village Association says it supports the demolition of the old buildings. A conceptual design plan for the proposed athletic fields, playground, and park area is being prepared. A replacement community building is included in design plans. The Osterville Village Association plans to work with the town to help inform the community and to gather public input. Assistant Public Works Director Rob Steen will provide an update on snow and ice events at next week's joint meeting of the Public Works Commission and Water Pollution Control Board. Crews have been working nearly nonstop since the snow began to fall in late January. The board will also hear an update on how the DPW informs residents during an emergency situation. The Barnstable Land Trust is working to preserve land surrounding Lowell Park in Cotuit. To learn more about the effort, Barnstable This Morning host Sarah Colvin talked with Executive Director Jackie Barton.
Good morning, everyone. You're watching Barnstable This Morning. I'm Sarah Colvin, and joining me from the Barnstable Land Trust, Executive Director Jackie Barton. Jackie, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
So, Jackie, behind us we can see Lowell Park, we can see Cotuit. It's a beautiful, and that's what we're talking about a little bit, is the effort to keep Lowell Park green. Of course, you and CPC Chair Lindsay Council made a presentation before our Town Council last week, coming up for a public hearing on the 26th. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this project. Lowell Park is so beautiful. It's such a valuable resource to the town. And why does it need to be protected, and what are the concerns? Take me back to the beginning of this project.
So back in the early 80s, the town of Barnstable created its first open space plan, and through that process there were properties throughout town that were identified as critical properties to protect. So it's been more than 30 years since we've had a chance to actually take action on preserving this property. The reason it's important is these 19 acres actually surround the Lowell Park ball field, and they're in a zone of contribution to Cotuit's number E3 well, which is the most critical part of any area surrounding a well. So their drinking water is at stake here. In addition, it's less than 2,000 feet from the coastal waters of Cotuit Bay. There's about 2,000 feet of frontage along Putnam Avenue in Cotuit, which is a scenic road. And probably more importantly, by preserving this land, will protect the ball field itself, which in part overflows onto this 19 acres. And if for some reason we weren't able to preserve this land and we lost it to development, the potential is that the field would have to go, and of course that would just be awful, because the Cotuit Kettleers are so much a part of community life.
Absolutely, really part of that old school Cape Cod, and you know, it's what would Cotuit be without the Kettleers? Of course, many other things in Cotuit, but the Kettleers are really so important, and that area around it. So is there any history to this land? Obviously it is open space right now, but there's concerns that it won't be open space forever, which is why this effort is underway.
So basically the town has 5.5 acres that they've acquired over the years from the Lowell family. I say over the years, over a century basically. In the early 1900s, the family donated its first parcel of land to the town, and over a period of 31 years, 4 gifts were made, and then the town acquired another piece of property. So there's, like I said, 5.25 acres that now house the land that's managed by the Cotuit Kettleers for the ballpark.
Great. So tell me a little bit more about the project, and I know that you've been working to raise funds. Tell me a little bit about that fundraising and where the town comes in.
So we need to raise $1.8 million, and we approached the town, the Community Preservation Committee, who graciously committed to $225,000. We approached the Cotuit Fire District for another $225,000, and that money will help purchase a conservation restriction on the land that we will ultimately own. In addition, the town will hopefully come up with $300,000 to buy the 3 acres immediately around the field. So that brings us to $750,000, and the remainder of the money needs to be raised privately. So assuming the town council votes on February 26th to support the 2 initiatives that are before them, we have already raised all but $400,000 of the money, and largely it's come from contributions. Biggest group of contributors ever for Barnstable Land Trust. Over 1,200 people have given to this project. So it really tells you what a community project this is.
Absolutely. So what more can we talk a little bit about the land itself? I know we have a picture of an old school building that used to be on there. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how it fits into to all of this?
Well, the original gift of the Lowell family was to the town of Barnstable to build a high school on. And the deed basically says if the town of Barnstable doesn't build that high school within 2 years, it reverts back to the family. So they did indeed build a school, absolutely beautiful school. But when the time came and it was no longer needed, it was either moved or torn down. I'm not positive which. And then down the road, additional properties were given to the town to create a playground for the people of Barnstable. That's what it says in the deeds. And then ultimately it became the ball field in the 40s when the Kettleers were founded.
Great. And do you know a little bit of the history of how it became the ball field and how it was able to, and it kind of played into all of that, what the gift was meant for?
Yeah, I honestly don't know the answer to that. It's something that I need to research a little bit further. But clearly the Kettleers needed a place to play. And a ball field was created, and to this day, I mean, we are lucky. The Kettleers organization, the Cotuit Athletic Association, raises a lot of money annually, not only to take care of the team, but also to take care of the field. And all the improvements that they've made in recent years are turned over to the town of Barnstable because, of course, the town of Barnstable owns the land.
In addition to protecting the land as green space forever, protecting the wildlife that's there, protecting the water, would this be a place where people can enjoy, something that they could walk through and kind of check out the features?
Yeah. People are allowed out on the field. There are other teams that use the field. The Sturgis School uses the field. There's an American Legion team, I believe, an Old Timers team. So there's a number of other baseball teams that use the field. In the off season, people walk out on there. They play with their kids. A lot of people walk around the perimeter of the field with their dogs. It's a good, safe place to walk, an open place where they can see. And in the summertime, when the Kettleers are training, basically for games and such, you will oftentimes see people kind of walking around and just kind of watching what's happening out on the field. Our intention is to clean it up around the edges so that people can more safely park off the edges of the roads when they're there for games, to improve the pathways that are currently there, to create another pathway to go further north, because one of the things I didn't say is that this is really the southern anchor of an 800-acre green belt that goes all the way up into Mashpee to the Cape Club land that the town purchased with land bank funds several years ago.
Wow, and it really is, it's that interesting part of Cotuit, and as we can see, or we have been seeing behind us during the interview, you know, you see the park, you see the water, and really when you're on the road, it's hard to imagine the way that looks from the air, but certainly, and again, it's kind of stretching, as you said, down into Mashpee and all of that protected area, just an absolutely gorgeous part of town.
And it really is so special. And of course, those Kettleers games are so much part of Americana. You know, the games are free. They're Norman Rockwell, like the kids run for foul balls. And I think what a lot of people really love is the fact that they can go to the games, get off work early, go to the games, which start at 4 o'clock. The kids come, they enjoy the day, they have hot dogs, hamburgers, nachos, whatever, and then they go home and they're exhausted and they're fed and they go to bed happy.
Which is what I think all parents like, right?
Exactly,
they want their kids to go home happy and full and go right to sleep.
Exactly.
It's a good thing. So Jackie, is there anything else that you think people should be aware of, people should know about the Keep Lowell Park Green initiative? Yeah,
our deadline is September to raise the other $400,000 that we need to raise. So we're busy trying to get that done. This is a very important project for the community, not just for Cotuit, but for the whole community, environmentally and culturally, and certainly for the game of baseball.
Absolutely. Well, Jackie, if people want to learn more about the Barnstable Land Trust, I know you guys have a great website with further information. Where can they find that online?
www.blt.org.
Great. Sounds like a sandwich. We love it. Jackie, thank you so much, and we appreciate your effort to try and preserve this important part of town, and we'll talk with you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will have our weekly arts and culture segment. We'll find out more about an upcoming youth summit, and we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.